Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is December 3rd, and right now we are looking at the infrared satellite imagery. Check out our force field here, protecting much of the west coast of North America from incoming systems. But in turn, this ridge of high pressure is leaving a very stable atmosphere in the lower levels. We got fog, dense fog, we got freezing fog out there. Even some freezing drizzle is possible at times. We'll take a look at all this in some detail. We'll take a look at the pattern change that is coming as we go towards the end of this week and what is to potentially come on into the future. Some of these weather models are pretty undecided on what is to come, but some of them are showing some fairly robust systems in our extended forecast. We'll dive into some of that as we go through the video this morning. Taking a look here, this is my weather station. I've got this set up on a 32-foot pole. If you want a professional installation, the Davis Vantage Pro 2 is probably the way to go. I've got the ultrasonic anemometer and the 3-cup up top, but as you can see, this takes much more effort to set up. I've got guy wires and all kinds of stuff here, and I've got the thermometer and the rain gauge co-located somewhere else. This is the Tempest that I've been testing here. I also have a Tempest in the backyard, and this Tempest also is a very good station for a much cheaper price. So if you want one of those, click on the link down below to save 10% off. It makes a great Christmas gift. I selected this station here near the Washington-Oregon border. The east winds have been blowing. That's why some of the Portland metro there has been getting some sunny skies and has not been dealing with that dense fog. But again, click on that link down below for 10% off if you want one of those. Now, taking a look here, we did have some wind reports across some of the Rocky Mountains there in Montana. Check it out, 71 miles per hour, County Glacier. And yeah, that's a pretty intense gust there. So we did have some windy conditions there. And again, no storm reports for Idaho, Washington, or Oregon because we're just trapped in this foggy regime right now, and we'll continue to wait because this is going to change as we go through the next couple of weeks. No doubt we'll eventually get some systems in here, and we'll take a look at that here in a moment. Now, looking at Portland, Oregon, look, you got freezing fog advisories. The air stagnation advisories are all over the place. Same thing for Spokane. Even some freezing drizzle can occur in these situations because you've got that low level moisture and you've got so much of it that drizzle can actually fall out of the sky, and you can get that freezing drizzle, make for very slick surfaces. So watch out for that. Another great graphic from the National Weather Service Spokane, taking a look at 80-meter wind speed. So light wind regime, except if you are near one of these terrain features here. A lot of cold air bottled up here east of the mountains here, tries to push through these terrain features and causes these gusty winds and can stir things up just enough to make for some nice days and keep you out of the dense fog. So if I scroll through here over the next few days, look at these east winds just continue to blow out of the gorge as we go on into probably Thursday morning, and then this very weak system will try to stir up the atmosphere a little bit here on Thursday, and then a stronger system rolls in this weekend. Now, if we look at Seattle, Tacoma, this is what's known as a profile. We are looking up at 39,000 feet here. There's 18,000 feet, but of course we live down here at the surface where you can see the temperature and the dew point are meeting, and that's why we have that dense fog and that warm air above. Cold air likes to sink. The warm air, it wants to rise. So you've got an impasse here, and you've got that inversion at the surface. So if I scroll through here on in through the day today into tomorrow, look at Wednesday morning, maybe some freezing fog again. That is the 0 Celsius line. That means the surface temperatures could be below freezing, maybe some freezing fog out there for some of the Puget Sound and the Willamette Valley as we go through the day tomorrow. And you can see that inversion remain all the way through Thursday coming up. And then you can see it start to break up right at the end of the run as we go through the late morning on Thursday. So finally, there is light at the end of the tunnel for the stagnant air mass at the surface. Troutdale, a little bit different here. If you look at the barbs over there, you can see the east winds coming through the gorge, and you get the little bit of a temperature dew point spread. And if I put that into motion, you can kind of see there is the inversion, but still you're getting enough mixing here at the surface where you're not dealing with the dense fog in some of those locations here. And that continues all the way on into the day Thursday, again with the easterly wind barbs there. And eventually that inversion is going to try to get erased as we go towards this weekend. Same thing for eastern Washington. You can clearly see the inversion with the lower levels of the atmosphere saturated as I scroll through the 60-hour forecast there. Now, taking a look here at the North American model, I did want to show the surface temperatures as we go through tomorrow morning. For example, you can see these temperatures really drop off of the Puget Sound, the Willamette Valley, freezing fog potential at that. And of course, colder weather here, I should just say, east of the mountains as this lower level air mass is just trapped into place. And as we go on in through the day Thursday, you can see a little bit of mixing occurring west, but it's going to be a much different story east. And we could start some of this precipitation of the frozen variety as we go on in towards this weekend. More on that here in a moment. Taking a look at the European, last night's run, 06Z. And if I put this into motion, you can see we have a couple more dry days here. And then here comes Thursday's system. It's really falling apart here as it approaches the coast, but the next system is stronger. And watch what the European does here. Look at this. This could start off as some freezing rain or some freezing drizzle here for portions in eastern Washington. So we really got to watch that with that cold air trapped. This could make for some very slick conditions there as we go on in through mainly Saturday morning. Then eventually some of that cold air gets scoured out. And you can see the pattern change coming up here. Some mountain snow, some rainfall finally rolling in as we go through the weekend and we get rid of that lower level inversion across the region. Now, taking a look at the Pacific North American Oscillation, positive here. The storm track is out over the Pacific Ocean, but you can see we are going to be going through somewhat of a pattern change, a transition here as we start to head off towards the mid portion of December. The European is in large agreement with that as well. Now, a little bit more on some specifics with that. Let's take a look at total precipitation in inches. So if we scroll through Wednesday here, now we're going through Thursday. Not much precipitation to speak of, but as we get towards Friday, you see some of that bearing down on western BC, starts to spread over western Washington, maybe Friday night or Saturday morning. We'll see how that trends, but then you can see we're getting some decent amounts here across some of the Cascades, Seattle, maybe down towards Portland here. Places east are going to be rain shadowed for the most part, but still some precipitation coming in here as we start this pattern change as we go through the upcoming weekend. Here's the GFS on the right. You can see pretty good model agreement on that system coming. Now, if we take a look at yesterday afternoon's European model run here, so look at this. There goes Thursday's system. Look at it just falling apart as it makes its way towards the coastline. Then we start to bring this stronger system in. A little bit of an atmospheric river look here, but we're not looking at any kind of excessive flooding with that system. A little bit of a cooler upper level trough moving down across the area. Another bit of a break here before we start to get some additional systems, and some of these have been looking fairly robust. That's another atmospheric river, it looks like, on through next week. But again, we're taking that with a grain of salt right now. You don't start to, it's not counter chickens before the eggs have hatched. And then you can see these stronger systems maybe rolling through here as we go towards the end of the next week. And look at the storm train just returned in yesterday afternoon's European model run here. Now, I want to check this out. Let's see, how far are we on the 12Z? The 12Z European is running right now. It doesn't look like we have that much data, but we'll just go ahead and check it out as far as it goes. There's Thursday's system falling apart, and we can really not even see the next one there. So anyway, yep. On to the next thing. Now, looking at the European ensemble mean here on the left, this is 10-day precipitation anomaly versus the GFS 10-day precipitation anomaly. And scrolling back and forth here, you can kind of see how we're on the fringe here. Are we going to get these? Is the storm train going to return in full force as we go through mid-December, or is it not? You can see there is some drier conditions for Oregon and California versus Washington and BC on yesterday afternoon's GFS. And we kind of been going through the flip-flopping back and forth here. So again, we're kind of in wait and see mode to see just how active we're going to get, but it definitely looks like some kind of a pattern change is incoming, and we do have the system coming in this weekend with very good confidence on that. So here's the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. A lot of the west here, including some of the central portions of the country above, below normal signal, no surprise there. 8 to 14 day, but look at that, they reintroduced some of that above. So the Climate Prediction Center is paying attention to that extended forecast that goes through December 16th. So we will bring this all up again tomorrow. We'll try to get some of that weather model agreement here and see just what kind of storms will be coming after this weekend system. So anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. Click like and subscribe. We'll do this all again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.